Fighting with the swords, gone. Playing with the brain, on. Let's play Giraffe Chess Hattrick League Season 3.
International Giraffe Chess Federation presents Hattrick League Season 3 between 10 Proddatur teams. Hello everyone, welcome to India's new 68 squad Giraffe Chess Academy Proddatur, and welcome to the live telecast of no draws, no resigns, only win or lose in just 70 moves Giraffe Chess Hattrick League 2024 Season 3. Let us watch Hattrick League 12th match between Proddatur Panthers versus Proddatur Tigers team. Each team consists of 3 players. Whoever team all outs opponent all 3 players is the match winners. Let us see the toss at the center of the court.
What will you select? Head is the call from the Proddatur Tigers. Tails. Toss won by the Proddatur Panthers team. What will you select? White or black? Proddatur Panthers team, they won the toss and elected to play first game.
And in toss, Proddatur Panthers team, they won the toss and opted to play on white side. And here is the both teams lineup for Proddatur Tigers team. Gautam Ishwar is the opener and Sai Akiltej is the second player, and Abhinay comes to play as third player. And for Proddatur Panthers team, Sujan is the opener and Akhileshwar is the second player, and Naga Vignesh comes to play as third player. Now, let us watch first game of the match between Proddatur Panthers team opening player Sujan Kumar Reddy versus Proddatur Tigers team opening player Gautam Ishwar. Let us see among these 2 players who will win this game and who will do hat-trick and who will be the hat-trick hero of today's great match. Let us watch. Let us move on to the court. Best Scholar awardee Proddatur Panthers team opening player Sujan Kumar Reddy is ready to play on white side. Let us see on other side of the court. Best Scholar awardee Proddatur Tigers team opening player Gautam Ishwar is ready to play on black side. Now we can see both players are ready to start the game 1 of the match. Black side player Gautam Ishwar is ready to hit the clock. Yes, he hit the clock. Game 1 started.
Pawn to e4, pawn to e5, pawn to f3, knight to c6, pawn to d3, pawn to f6, pawn to c3, pawn to d6, pawn to d4, pawn captured pawn to d4, pawn captured pawn to d4, giraffe to e6, pawn to d5, giraffe to h5, pawn capture knight at c6, pawn capture pawn at c6, pawn to g4, giraffe to e6, giraffe to d3, giraffe capture giraffe at d3, queen capture giraffe at d3, bishop to e6, queen to d1, pawn to d5, pawn to f4, pawn captured pawn to e4, pawn to f5, bishop to d5, bishop to g2, giraffe to d6, knight to c3, bishop to f7, bishop captured pawn to e4, pawn to g6, bishop captured pawn to c6 and check to black king, king to d9, bishop captured rook at a8, queen captured rook, bishop at a8, knight to b5, queen captured rook at h1, knight capture pawn to c7 and check to black king, king to d8, knight to a6, king to e7, queen to e2 and check to black king, king to d7, knight to c5 and check to black king, king to d8, knight to e4, giraffe to g5, bishop capture giraffe to g5, pawn capture bishop at g5, knight capture pawn at g5, bishop to d5, knight to e6 and check to black king, king to d7, knight capture bishop at f8 and check to black king, king to d6, giraffe to e3 and check to black king, king to c6, queen to c2 and check to black king, king to b7, rook to c1, queen capture knight at g1 and check to white king, king to d2, queen to g2 and check to white king, king to d3, bishop to e4 and check to white king, king to d4, bishop capture queen at c2, king to c5, queen to d2, rook capture bishop at c2, queen capture rook at c2 and check to white king, king to d6, queen to c8, king to e5, queen capture knight at f8, king to e6, knight to e9, giraffe to d6, queen to e8 and check to white king, king to f6, rook to f8 and check to white king, king to g5, queen to e7 and check to white king, pawn to f6, queen capture pawn at f6 and check to white king, king to h6, pawn to g5 and check to white king, king to h5,
Now we can see Gautam
queen to
Ishwar immediately
g6 and
moved
check
his
to white
queen
king,
to
and it's a
g6
checkmate.
and set check to white king. It is not only check, it is a checkmate win to Gautam Ishwar. What a superb checkmate win to Gautam Ishwar. And Proddatur Panthers team opening player Sujan out. Proddatur Panthers team lost the first player. And Gautam Ishwar still need 2 more wins to do hat-trick and become hat-trick hero of today's great match. Now, let us watch second game of the match between Proddatur Panthers team second player Akhileshwar Reddy versus Proddatur Tigers team opening player Gautam Ishwar. Let us see among these two players who will win this game and who will do hat-trick and who will be the hat-trick hero of today's great match. Among these two players, Gautam Ishwar already won the first game and now playing for winning second game. Let us watch what will happen. Let us move on to the court. Proddatur Panthers team second player Akhileshwar Reddy is ready to play on black side. Let us see on other side of the court. Best scholar awardee Proddatur Tigers team opening player Gautam Ishwar is ready to play on white side. Now we can see both players are ready to start the game 2 of the match. Black side player Akhilesh is ready to hit the clock. Yes, he hit the clock. Game 2 started.
Pawn to e4, pawn to e5, pawn to f3, knight to h6, pawn to d3, pawn to e5, pawn capture pawn at f5, queen to f6, pawn to g4, pawn to d5, giraffe to e3, queen to e7, pawn to b3, queen to c5, bishop to a3, queen to a5, queen to a5 and check to white king, bishop to b4, bishop captured bishop at b4 and check to white king. Giraffe captured bishop at b4. Queen captured giraffe at b4 and check to white king. Pawn to c3. Queen to d6. Queen to c1. Pawn to g6. Knight to a3. Pawn captured pawn at f5. Knight to b5. Queen to d7. Pawn to d4. Pawn captured pawn at g4. Pawn captured pawn at g4. Queen captured pawn at g4. Knight captured pawn at c7 and check to black king. King to d7. Knight captured rook at a8. Giraffe captured knight at a8. Bishop to h3. Queen to e6. Bishop captured queen at e6 and check to black king. King captured bishop at e6. Queen captured knight at h6 and check to black king. King to e7. Queen to g7 and check to black king. King to d8. Knight to e2. Giraffe to d6. Queen capture rook at h8 and check to black king. King to c7. King to f2. King to b6. King to f3. Pawn capture pawn at d4. Knight capture pawn at d4. King to c5. King to f4. Bishop to h3. King to e5. Pawn to b5. King to f6. Pawn to b4. King to e7. Knight to d9 and check to white king.
Yes, now
king
we
to
can see
d8.
Gautam Ishwar is just
Bishop
one step
captured,
away to win by
giraffe
crowning.
at
Yes,
e0,
he moved
king
his
to
king to
e9,
e9
crowning
and
win.
won the game by crowning. What a superb win by crowning by the Gautam Ishwar. And Proddatur Panthers team lost second player Akhilesh out. So Gautam Ishwar won continuously 2 games. Still, he need one more win to do hat-trick and become hat-trick hero of today's great match. Now, let us watch third game of the match between Proddatur Panthers team last player Naga Vignesh versus Proddatur Tigers team opening player Gautam Ishwar. Let us see among these two players who will win this game and who will do hat-trick and who will be the hat-trick hero of today's great match. Among these two players, Gautam Ishwar already won continuously 2 games and now playing for third game and for doing hat-trick. Let us see what will happen. Let us move on to the court. Little Scholar awardee Proddatur Panthers team last player Naga Vignesh is ready to play on right side. Let us see on other side of the court. Best Scholar awardee Proddatur Tigers team opening player Gautam Ishwar is ready to play on black side. Now we can see both players are ready to start the game 3 of the match. Black side player Gautam Ishwar is ready to hit the clock. Yes, he hit the clock. Game 3 started.
Pawn to e4, pawn to e5, knight to c3, pawn to f6, pawn to f3, pawn to d6, pawn to d3, giraffe to e6, knight to h3, pawn to c6, pawn to f4, pawn captured pawn at f4, knight captured pawn at f4, pawn to d5, knight to g6, knight to g6, pawn capture knight at g6, knight to e2, giraffe to d6, knight to f4, pawn to f5, pawn captured pawn at d5, giraffe to b5, pawn captured pawn at c6, knight captured pawn at c6, knight captured pawn at g6, rook to h7, knight captured bishop at f8, king captured knight at f8, giraffe to e3, giraffe captured giraffe at e3, bishop captured giraffe at e3, queen to f6, pawn to d4, pawn to f4, bishop to d2, queen captured pawn at d4, bishop captured giraffe at b5, queen to e5 and check to white king, bishop to e2, knight to h6, bishop to c3, queen to g5, pawn to h4, queen capture pawn at g2, bishop to f1, queen to g3 and check to white king, king to e2, bishop to g4 and check to white king, giraffe to f3, bishop capture giraffe at f3 and check to white king, king to d2, bishop capture queen at d1, rook capture bishop at d1, rook to d8 and check to white king, bishop to d3, queen to g2 and check to white king, king to c1, knight to g4, bishop capture rook at h7, knight to f7, rook to g1, queen to e0, rook to e1, queen to h3, rook capture rook at d8 and check to black king, king to f7, rook to e2, knight capture rook at d8, rook capture knight at f2, king to e6, king to d2, queen to e3 and check to white king, king to d1, queen capture rook at f2, bishop to e1, queen to f3 and check to white king, king to d2, king to e5, bishop to d3, queen to e3 and check to white king, king to d1, pawn to f3, bishop to d2, queen to g1 check to white king, king to d0, pawn to f2, bishop to c3, king to f4, bishop to d2 and check to black king, king to f3, king to e0, king to g2, pawn to h5, pawn to f8, pawn equal to queen, bishop capture queen at f8, Queen capture, bishop at f8, king to d0, king to f2, pawn to c3, queen to e2, bishop to e1 and check to black king.
Now we can see Gautam
Queen
Ishwar
captured
immediately
bishop at
captured
e1
bishop
and
at
check to white
e1
king,
and said check
and it's a
to
checkmate.
white king. It is not only check, it is a checkmate win to Gautam Ishwar. What a superb checkmate win to Gautam Ishwar. Naga Vignesh out. Proddatur Panthers team last player. Naga Vignesh out. And Gautam Ishwar won continuously 3 games and did a hat-trick and become hat-trick hero of today's great match. Finally, Proddatur Tigers team all outs Proddatur Panthers team and won the match in straight 3 games.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Giraffe Chess Hattrick League 2024 Season 3. Just now we have watched very intense and exciting Proddatur Tigers versus Proddatur Panthers. In this match we witnessed one more hat-trick from the hat-trick hero Gautam Ishwar. Congratulations Gautam Ishwar, and here is the 500 rupees cash prize from the International Giraffe Chess Federation. Now, let us have a small interview. Okay? So, you played and you did a hat-trick. In total moves? 130 moves. So, in 130 moves, you became a hat-trick. You did a hat-trick and became a hat-trick hero. So, for that, now, first game, you played with Srujan. In 46 moves, by checkmate you won. Okay. In that game, what is the game winning move? Right?
Sujan ఆలోచించకుండా మూవ్స్ వేయడం వల్ల నేను గెలవడానికి కారణం అయింది.
Very good. And second player, you played with Akhilesh. In 33 moves, you by crowning you won. Now let me know in second game you played with Akhilesh. Akhilesh is very good player. So in that, what is the crucial move?
అఖిలేష్ తన 10వ మూవ్లో ఆలోచించకుండా మూవ్ వేయడంతో నేను గెలవడానికి కారణం అయింది.
Very good. Which move? 30? 10th move. Okay, okay. Now let us the third one, which is very important for hat-trick. So you played with the third game, Naga Vignesh. In 51 moves, again you out the third player with checkmate. So what is the important move?
నాగవిఘ్నేష్ ఆలోచించకుండా మూవ్ వేయడం మరియు డిఫెన్స్ ఆడడం వల్ల నేను గెలవడానికి ఆస్కారం ఉంది.
So you played offense, then he played defense. That is the reason. Very good. So this is the today's match hat-trick hero Gautam Ishwar. So congratulations Gautam Ishwar. And finally I would like to ask you, who encouraged you to participate in hat-trick league and whom you dedicate this hat-trick? Your family will support you. Very good. Thank you.
And finally, here is today's hat-trick hero Gautam Ishwar's scorecard. In game 1, he outs Srujan by checkmate in 46 moves, and in game 2, he outs Akhileshwar by crowning in 33 moves. In game 3, he outs Naga Vignesh by checkmate in 51 moves. Totally, Gautam Ishwar did a hat-trick in 130 moves. Congratulations hat-trick hero Gautam Ishwar. All the best for the next matches. And here is the points table after 12 matches. Let us see what are the top 4 teams. Proddatur Kings with 4 points stands in first position. Proddatur Chirutas with 4 points stands in second position. Proddatur Spartans with 4 points stands in third position, whereas Proddatur Lions with 2 points stands in fourth position.